The councils of the galactic civilizations convene in the vast luminous chamber aboard the flagship of the Zoran Collective, a species whose history of conquest and domination span millennia, their silvery exoskeletons gleaming under the ambient energy of their world engine-powered seats, as they collectively debated the trivial threat posed by the blue planet they called Earth, their voices echoing in harmonic resonance as they dismiss humanity with a mix of scorn and amusement, insisting that the primitive inhabitants were incapable of developing technology beyond the crude electromagnetic pulses they had detected, and yet in the depths of Earth's solar system, the human fleets were already mobilizing in silence, hidden from alien sensors by a combination of advanced stealth algorithms, electromagnetic cloaking, and the cunning deployment of quantum entanglement communication networks that allow for instantaneous coordination across interstellar distances, where Admiral Marcus Hale observed the data streaming across his holographic interface with a measured calm that belied the storm of anticipation in the hearts of his crew, the human officers and enlisted personnel moving with precision as they prepared the massive orbital platforms that would serve as the backbone of Earth's defense and eventual counterattack. All while the political leadership in the United Nations Space Command held tense discussions about resource allocation, interstellar, diplomacy, and the careful balance between secrecy and preparedness, decisions that would determine the fate of billions of lives as alien observers, assuming humanity's limitations, began sending scouting fleets to survey Earth's defenses, unaware that every probe, drone, and ship was meticulously analyzed and reverse engineered by human scientists who had anticipated every possible technological advantage the galaxy could wield. And so the humans deployed an array of deceptive measures, ranging from holographic decoys mimicking entire star systems to electromagnetic countermeasures that rendered alien sensors useless, as young engineers like Leah Martinez and Anthony Kim worked around the clock to calibrate the fusion drives and plasma torpedo arrays that would soon redefine the notion of tactical supremacy, while simultaneously, reconnaissance satellites transmitted encrypted signals back to command centers, detailing every formation, every alien ship signature, and every communication protocol, feeding Admiral Hale's strategic calculations, allowing humans to predict movements before they occurred, a feat that would make alien tacticians reconsider the meaning of intelligence in war, all the while the media on Earth quietly chronicled the unprecedented mobilization, broadcasting coded messages and morale-boosting stories to maintain the population's cohesion and resilience, emphasizing that humanity's strength lay not just in weapons, but in unity, in creativity, in the unbreakable will to survive against a cosmos that assumed they were inconsequential. And as the alien scouts began their preliminary orbital sweeps, they found nothing but empty space, leading them to underestimate again, believing the humans had yet to muster any meaningful resistance, which allowed Admiral Hale to execute the first phase of the operation, the silent repositioning of interstellar dreadnoughts, each armed with quantum phase disruptors, antimatter lances, and neural link, targeting systems moving from hidden bases in the asteroid belt and distant moons of Jupiter and Saturn toward the outer reaches of the solar system, where the first encounter would take place, a confrontation designed not just to repel, but to demonstrate an intelligence and capability far beyond presumptions of the Zoran Collective and their allies, as ships like the USS Orion and the USS Resolute maneuvered through asteroid clusters and gravitational anomalies, using the environment as both shield and weapon, with crew members like Captain Elena Foster running simulations of every conceivable engagement scenario, adjusting parameters in real time, feeding commands into the Neuralink piloting systems that allowed human reflexes to manipulate battles at speeds no alien physiology could match. And while the humans prepared for engagement, back in the Galactic Council chamber, the alien delegates continued their hubris-laden discourse, debating the division of Earth's resources, the potential spoils of conquest, and the supposed ease with which humanity could be coerced into submission, each speech dripping with contempt for the untested, unproven species they considered insignificant. And yet, unbeknownst to them, humanity's response was already in motion, a combination of military brilliance, scientific innovation, and cultural resilience that had been cultivated over centuries of surviving challenges that had hardened them in ways the galaxy had never witnessed. From pandemic responses to planetary defense, from orbital construction to sublight colonization, skills and knowledge now converging in a decisive moment that would redefine interstellar power dynamics. While back on Earth, the civilian population remained largely unaware of the scale of the impending conflict, their lives continuing against the backdrop of cities, farmlands, and oceans, yet every individual contributed in some way. Engineers maintaining power grids, scientists refining propulsion systems, medics preparing for casualties, and families fostering the social cohesion that made the military's focus possible, all under the guidance of leadership that understood both the stakes and the subtleties of human psychology, which would prove just as deadly as the weapons themselves. And as the alien scouts penetrated further into the solar system, they detected anomalous energy readings they could not identify, believing them to be minor fluctuations or natural phenomena, while in reality, these are the coordinated power-up sequences of humanity's defensive platforms, their sensors active yet masked, preparing to record every approach vector, every energy signature, every tactical decision for analysis and rapid response, allowing humans to adapt in real time to any unforeseen alien maneuver. And when the first skirmish occurred in the outer asteroid fields, the aliens were shocked to find themselves ensnared in a trap that combined classical strategy, quantum computing prediction algorithms, and an intuitive understanding of human adaptability. As the humans manipulated gravitational fields, plasma streams, and energy shields to control every aspect of the battlefield, striking precisely at weak points the aliens believed were impenetrable, all while maintaining a deceptive aura of numerical inferiority, leading alien commanders like General HFY to the Zoran Collective to repeatedly question their intelligence assessments, realizing too late that humanity's understanding of combined arms, predictive analytics, and psychological warfare exceeded anything they had ever experienced, and across multiple theaters of engagement, humans executed maneuvers that disrupted alien formations, neutralized flagship vessels, and created cascading failures in enemy communication networks, leaving the alien fleets disoriented, vulnerable, and ultimately powerless against the methodical, relentless precision of human strategy. And as the Council received reports of losses that defied expectation, panic replaced arrogance, meetings devolved into chaos, and diplomatic channels that once presumed compliance now struggled to negotiate for mere survival. All the while humans remained composed, their victories calculated, their counterattacks deliberate, each one reinforcing the growing reputation that Earth was no longer a planet to be dismissed, but a formidable force whose capabilities had been underestimated at their peril. And within this unfolding drama, individuals like Lieutenant Jordan Hayes, pilot of the USS Vanguard, performed feats of skill and bravery that became legendary even among humans, executing maneuvers that exploited minute weaknesses in alien hull designs, using intuition and training in equal measure, while communication officers decrypted alien protocols, feeding the information into predictive models that allowed human strike groups to anticipate moves several steps ahead, culminating in a series of coordinated assaults that systematically dismantled the Zoran Collective's offensive, leaving entire fleets stranded, isolated, and inoperative. And by the time the first engagement concluded, the galaxy had begun to take note, whispers spreading from star system to star system about humanity's unexpected proficiency, their resilience, and their capacity for strategic innovation, with every victory further eroding the confidence of the alien councils, forcing them to confront the catastrophic misjudgment that had brought them to the brink of disaster. And through it all, humans continued to advance, leveraging every resource, every technological breakthrough, every lesson from their past struggles, all converging in a campaign that would ultimately redefine the balance of power across the stars, proving beyond doubt that when underestimated, humanity could not only survive but dominate, turning the arrogance of the galaxy into their own undoing, and setting the stage for a conflict whose reverberations would echo for generations, as the councils of alien civilizations realized, too late, that Earth had never been the insignificant world they assumed, but a crucible of ingenuity, courage, and resolve, a planet whose people were capable of achieving what no one else dared to imagine. And this was only the beginning of a reckoning that would forever change the perception of humanity among the stars. As the shockwaves of humanity's initial victories rippled through the outer sectors, alien civilizations scrambled to comprehend the scale of the miscalculation they had made, sending emergency delegations to the surviving Zoran counselors, only to be met with a mixture of panic, denial, and bitter recrimination as reports detailed entire fleets annihilated with precision strikes humans had orchestrated from the shadows of asteroid belts, leveraging quantum entanglement to coordinate attacks. Faster than light could carry a message, and while the councils debated futile strategies, Admiral Marcus Hale orchestrated the second phase of humanity's plan, deploying the hidden orbital shipyards that had quietly been constructing the so-called Vanguard-class supercarriers, each vessel equipped with adaptive plasma grids, antimatter torpedoes, and advanced artificial intelligence that could analyze enemy tactics and respond instantaneously, effectively giving human fleets a reaction time no alien biology could match. And within these ships, officers like Commander Lena Patel and Chief Engineer Ravi Singh oversaw crews who had trained for decades to function in perfect synchrony, their movements and decisions governed by rigorous protocols and intuitive understanding of both the machinery and each other, creating an almost organic coordination that allowed squads of fighters to move as one, intercepting alien drones, neutralizing ambushes, and dismantling fleet formations before the enemy even realized what occurred. While on Earth, civilian scientists continued refining propulsion systems, weapons arrays, and communication protocols, enabling the fleets to strike at multiple sectors simultaneously, creating confusion and forcing alien commanders like General HFY to operate in reactive modes rather than strategic, compounding their losses and shaking the very foundations of their confidence. And as skirmishes erupted across contested star systems, humanity revealed new tactics that defied alien expectations, such as utilizing gravity wells of massive gas giants to redirect projectiles, deploying autonomous drones that mimic natural cosmic phenomena to mass fleet movements, and initiating feints that drew entire alien squadrons into carefully constructed kill zones, demonstrating not just technological superiority, but psychological acumen. As human strategists anticipated the overconfidence and arrogance that had defined alien command, manipulating it to produce predictable errors that humans could exploit, while behind the scenes, intelligence officers decrypted communications between alien species, discovering fractures and alliances of mistrust that had been previously hidden, which allowed human diplomats and strategists to subtly exacerbate tensions, causing alien factions to hesitate, misalign, and even sabotage each other, creating a compounded advantage that amplified every human maneuver. And within this storm of calculated strikes, Lieutenant Jordan Hayes continued executing daring missions, infiltrating heavily defended sectors to disable key installations, while Captain Elena Foster coordinated orbital bombardments with surgical precision, ensuring collateral damage was minimized to preserve potential allies or neutral systems, and simultaneously, Earth's political leaders maintained a careful balance of secrecy and morale, broadcasting selective victories to unify humanity, reinforcing the belief that every individual's contribution mattered in the broader campaign, and the aliens, observing from a distance, began to experience a psychological collapse, their prior assumptions of superiority shattered as humans adapted, evolved, and overcame obstacles that had seemed insurmountable, redefining the very concept of warfare in the galaxy. While scientists like Leah Martinez and Anthony Kim unveiled new weapons technology, including graviton projectors capable of distorting space-time around enemy vessels, subspace disruptors that interfered with faster-than-light travel, and energy absorption shields that converted alien attacks into usable power, innovations that forced the enemy to rethink their offensive strategies entirely. And as humanity's counteroffensive intensified, entire sectors that had previously fallen under alien control were liberated with astonishing speed, civilian populations cheering as they witnessed fleets they had never imagined seeing in person, and alien populations themselves began to whisper to humans who had overturned centuries of assumed dominance with ingenuity, resilience, and relentless coordination, all orchestrated by the command leadership, who understood that every victory was not just a tactical success, but a statement of intent, a message that humanity could not be underestimated or controlled. And in the midst of this vast galactic upheaval, the councils of alien species convened emergency sessions, debating not only military responses but the existential implications of species that had emerged from a single solar system, uniting under a shared purpose, leveraging both intellect and courage in ways that left even the most experienced alien commanders in awe, while humans, fully aware of the alien panic, continued their advance with methodical patience. ensuring that every engagement further disoriented and dismantled the enemy, establishing safe corridors for civilian transport, rescuing captured personnel, and coordinating supply lines across hundreds of light years with an efficiency that alien observers could scarcely comprehend, all while maintaining a psychological edge by controlling the flow of information, broadcasting selective victories, and revealing the consequences of resistance to those who might still consider defiance, culminating in decisive strikes that incapacitated alien flagship vessels, disrupted communication networks, and fractured alliances, leaving the galaxy stunned at humanity's capacity for coordinated, adaptive, and innovative warfare. And by the time the second wave of operations concluded, humans had not only defended their home system, but had projected a force of unprecedented reach and capability, forcing the councils to confront the undeniable reality that Earth had become the pivot around which galactic power would now revolve, a lesson learned at immense cost, one that would resonate across the stars for generations, proving that when underestimated, humanity did not simply survive. It dominated, reshaped the battlefield, and imposed a new order on those who had once considered themselves masters of the universe. As humanity solidified its hold over the contested sectors, alien civilizations scrambled to reassess the scale and sophistication of Earth's capabilities. The Zoran Collective and allied species convening emergency war councils, their halls filled with tension, suspicion, and fear as every report of human ingenuity and tactical brilliance contradicted centuries of assumed galactic superiority. And while alien commanders debated futile countermeasures, human fleets under Admiral Marcus Hale executed the third phase of the campaign, leveraging newly unveiled technological advancements such as quantum phase cloaking, graviton maneuvering warships, and autonomous AI strike crafts that operated in tandem with human intuition, a combination that allowed for rapid, coordinated assaults that alien forces could not predict, and across multiple theaters of engagement. Human officers like Commander Lena Patel and Chief Engineer Ravi Singh orchestrated complex battle sequences using gravitational anomalies, asteroid fields, and space-time distortions as both shields and weapons, neutralizing alien offensives with minimal loss, while intelligence officers decrypted and anticipated enemy movements, exploiting cracks in alliances and sowing discord between species that had once coordinated seamlessly, creating cascading failures in their command structures. And on Earth, the civilian and scientific populations continued to contribute to the war effort with unwavering resolve, refining energy weapons, propulsion systems, and predictive algorithms, their innovations feeding directly into fleet operations, allowing human forces to engage in high-risk maneuvers with unprecedented confidence, as Lieutenant Jordan Hayes led daring deep space reconnaissance missions, mapping alien patrol routes and exploiting weak points, while Captain Elena Foster coordinated orbital bombardments that disabled key infrastructure, ensuring that enemy fleets were continuously stretched thin and forced into reactive, ineffective positions. And simultaneously, humanity leveraged psychological warfare, projecting holographic decoys, simulated fleet movements, and controlled propaganda to manipulate alien perceptions, leading the enemy to overcommit resources, fragment formations, and misallocate strategic reserves, compounding the effectiveness of human tactics. While in the council chambers of the galaxy, alien delegates began to panic, recognizing for the first time the sheer scale of their misjudgment, the arrogance that led them to dismiss humanity, now leaving them vulnerable, their prior confidence replaced with fear, recrimination, and internal conflict. And yet humans maintained discipline, their focus unwavering, executing combined operations that blended orbital, suborbital, and deep space maneuvers in perfect synchronization, overwhelming enemies at every turn, while simultaneously coordinating rescue missions for liberated worlds, evacuating civilians, and securing resource-rich systems to sustain long-term campaigns, showcasing not just martial prowess, but a logistical and strategic mastery that alien forces had failed to anticipate. And as battles raged across multiple star systems, humanity unveiled additional innovations, such as subspace interference grids that disrupted faster-than-light navigation for enemy fleets, energy absorption shields that converted incoming attacks into operational power, and autonomous drone swarms capable of neutralizing entire squadrons without human intervention, demonstrating a blend of technological innovation and tactical foresight that no alien species had encountered before. While on a personal level, Human heroes emerged, individuals whose daring, skill, and ingenuity became legendary. Lieutenant Hayes performing maneuvers that exploited the smallest weaknesses in alien hulls. Captain Foster coordinating fleet-wide engagements with unmatched precision, and engineers like Martinez and Kim implementing weapon systems in real time under the stress of live combat, all while maintaining cohesion and morale across crews stretched across thousands of kilometers of space. And with every engagement, alien fleets suffered attrition far beyond what any strategy could compensate for, morale collapsing as they faced a species that not only countered their every tactic, but adapted instantly, turning assumptions and overconfidence into vulnerabilities, while humanity's strategic vision ensured that every victory built upon the last, gradually tightening the net around enemy command structures, supply lines, and key installations, creating a scenario in which alien commanders were forced to choose between retreat, surrender, or annihilation, each choice a testament to the consequences of underestimating a species whose unity, adaptability, and intelligence surpassed even the most formidable civilizations of the galaxy. And as the third phase of operations reached its conclusion, the results were undeniable. Entire fleets incapacitated, systems liberated, alliances fractured, and the galaxy forced to acknowledge that Earth's human population was not merely defending itself. It was redefining the principles of interstellar conflict, proving that intelligence, courage, innovation, and cohesion could triumph over experience, numbers, and assumed superiority. And as reports of human efficiency and tactical brilliance spread across the stars, whispers grew into urgent discussions, the councils of alien species forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. Humanity, once underestimated, had become the pivotal force in the galaxy, capable of reshaping the balance of power, securing its own survival, and ensuring that those who had once dismissed the blue planet would never again underestimate the consequences of arrogance and hubris, setting the stage for a broader confrontation that would test not only technology and strategy, but the very resilience, ingenuity, and indomitable spirit of humanity, as humans prepare for the next wave of operations, ready to exploit every miscalculation, every error, and every weakness that alien overconfidence had revealed, establishing a pattern of dominance that would echo across systems, solidifying their reputation as a species whose capacity for innovation, unity, and decisive action made them a force that no civilization could ignore, intimidate, or suppress. And in the wake of this relentless campaign, humanity's message was clear. Underestimating Earth was a mistake the galaxy would never repeat, a lesson carved in the destruction of fleets, the liberation of worlds, and the unstoppable advancement of a civilization that had turned the tide not through brute numbers, but through the unparalleled application of intellect, courage, and strategic foresight, forever altering the balance of power in the universe and ensuring that the legacy of humanity would be remembered as the species that refused to be underestimated, that fought with precision, and that ultimately forced the galaxy to recognize that Earth's defenders were not merely survivors. They were masters of their destiny, a force that would define the future of interstellar history. As humanity pressed its advantage deeper into formerly alien-controlled space, the Zoran Collective and allied civilizations struggled to formulate coherent strategies, their previous confidence eroded by a relentless series of precise human operations. And while alien leaders debated endlessly in glowing council chambers, their fleets were systematically outmaneuvered by humans who exploited every weakness, from sensor blind spots to structural vulnerabilities in starships, leveraging the full spectrum of Earth's technological innovations, including adaptive plasma weaponry, quantum phase stealth systems, and autonomous AI combat units that could anticipate and counter multiple enemy maneuvers simultaneously, while Admiral Marcus Hale oversaw coordinated multi-theater campaigns, each designed to pressure alien command nodes, disrupt supply lines, and incapacitate entire fleets without unnecessary loss to human personnel. And within these operations, officers like Commander Lena Patel and Lieutenant Jordan Hayes carried out daring missions that struck deep behind enemy lines, sabotaging key installations, rerouting energy flows, and manipulating gravitational fields to create tactical advantages that alien forces had never encountered. And as engineers like Ravi Singh and Leah Martinez refined their energy shields and propulsion systems in real time, the humans achieved a level of battlefield adaptability that made conventional alien tactics obsolete. While back on Earth, civilians contributed to the war effort by advancing research, managing logistics, and maintaining global morale, ensuring that humanity's focus remained unbroken. and as the first major alien counteroffensive was launched in the neutral sectors near the Orion Expanse, they were met with devastating efficiency. Human fleets deploying complex formations that blended orbital artillery, fighter swarms, and autonomous drone squadrons, using predictive algorithms derived from decrypted enemy communications to strike with pinpoint accuracy, neutralizing threats before they could respond, while simultaneously coordinating humanitarian evacuations and securing liberated worlds to integrate them into a rapidly expanding human-controlled network of space stations and resource hubs. And as alien commanders like General HFY attempted to rally their scattered fleets, they found themselves hampered by internal discord, conflicting priorities among allied species, and the realization that their assumptions about human limitations were catastrophically wrong. Their pride and arrogance replaced with desperation, as humans executed feints, decoys, and multi-vector assaults that forced alien forces into reactive positions, exposing weak points that were promptly exploited by human strike teams, while the councils, observing from distant systems, struggled to maintain authority over their delegations, issuing contradictory orders, and failing to understand the innovative approaches humans had developed in real time, which included adaptive cloaking, hyper-efficient energy absorption shields, and modular warship systems that could reconfigure mid-battle to counter any unexpected threat. And as engagements escalated, human commanders demonstrated not only mastery of technology, but also psychological insight, exploiting alien overconfidence, rigid hierarchies, and cultural assumptions to manipulate their decision-making processes, ensuring that every move by enemy fleets carried inherent risk. And even when aliens attempted to deploy novel weapons, humans adapted almost instantaneously, using intelligence gathered from prior encounters, rapid prototyping aboard mobile orbital laboratories, and coordinated network control to neutralize threats before they can inflict damage, while simultaneously, Earth's political and military leadership maintained an unwavering strategic vision, integrating scientific, tactical, and societal resources to maintain sustained momentum, reinforcing the message that humanity's strength was as much in unity and adaptability as in raw firepower. And across the liberated sectors, populations marveled at the effectiveness, discipline, and ingenuity of human forces, civilians and militia alike joining reconstruction, communication, and logistical efforts to stabilize newly reclaimed worlds, demonstrating a resilience and cohesion that alien observers could scarcely comprehend, while intelligence operations exploited the fracturing of enemy alliances, feeding disinformation, sowing distrust, and capitalizing on rivalries, effectively turning previous allies into liabilities for alien commanders. And as humanity pressed forward, further innovations emerge, including graviton projectors capable of manipulating local space-time, subspace interference devices that disrupted enemy communications and FTL navigation, and AI-guided munitions that operated with human-like intuition, all of which were integrated into coordinated strategies designed to incapacitate fleets without unnecessary destruction of civilian infrastructure, establishing a model of warfare that combined precision, efficiency, and foresight. And as the campaign continued, alien forces were repeatedly forced into retreat, their fleets diminished, their morale shattered, and their political cohesion threatened, while humans, always advancing, expanded their operational reach, establishing forward bases, securing critical supply chains, and preparing for the inevitable final confrontation that would test the full scope of human ingenuity and endurance. And across the galaxy, the message was clear. Humanity was no longer to be dismissed, underestimated, or controlled, and those who had once assumed superiority now faced a species whose capacity for innovation, coordination, and resilience had transformed them into a decisive force, capable not only of defending their home, but of imposing order, strategy, and justice across vast, interstellar distances, proving that when underestimated, humans did not simply survive. They redefined the rules of engagement, imposed their will on their enemies, and secured a place as masters of their destiny in a universe that had once assumed they were inconsequential, while individuals across Earth and the occupied sectors continue to display remarkable courage, skill, and creativity, contributing to a campaign that was simultaneously tactical, technological, and profoundly human in its execution, leaving alien civilizations to grapple with the devastating reality that underestimating humanity had come at a cost they could scarcely comprehend. As fleets crumbled, alliances fractured, and the foundations of presumed supremacy were irreversibly shattered, setting the stage for a galaxy that would never again misjudge the inhabitants of a blue planet who had proven that resilience, ingenuity, and unwavering unity could overcome even the most formidable of opponents. And as human forces consolidated victories, expanded influence, and prepared for the decisive next steps, the overarching narrative became clear to all observers. Humanity had transformed from the underestimated underdog to the dominant power, a species whose capabilities, strategies, and indomitable spirit ensured that any who challenged them would pay the ultimate price. With the consolidation of previously contested sectors, humanity shifted its focus toward the heart of the Zoran Collective's territory, a region long considered impenetrable due to its dense defense grids, orbital fortresses, and fleets bristling with advanced weaponry. Yet humans approached the challenge with the same meticulous planning, strategic foresight, and technological superiority that had defined every prior engagement, as Admiral Marcus Hale orchestrated multi-pronged assaults that leveraged gravitational anomalies, stealth trajectories, and synchronized strikes from multiple directions, effectively dividing and isolating enemy formations, while officers like Commander Lena Patel directed squadrons that combined human intuition with AI-assisted predictive algorithms to anticipate alien maneuvers, neutralize threats before they could react, and exploit even the smallest weaknesses in hull integrity, shield resonance, and energy distribution. And on the scientific front, Leah Martinez and Ravi Singh unveiled a series of innovations, including adaptive energy dispersal fields, quantum phase offensive drones, and hyper-accurate long-range targeting systems that transform space battles into exercises of both intellect and precision, while intelligence officers decrypted enemy communications in real time, feeding data into command networks to continuously update battle plans and coordinate fleets across hundreds of light years, all while maintaining civilian morale and resource allocation back on Earth, ensuring that the logistical backbone of the campaign remained robust. And as the humans advanced, alien forces attempted desperate counterattacks, deploying experimental weapons, kamikaze drones, and coordinated fleet offensives, only to be systematically dismantled by human strategy, ingenuity, and adaptability. And with every victory, alien morale crumbled, factions fractured, and the councils were forced into reactive, often contradictory decision-making that further amplified human advantages, while Lieutenant Jordan Hayes and Captain Elena Foster executed precision raids deep behind enemy lines, disabling critical infrastructure, commandeering supply routes, and exposing weak points in supposedly secure systems, demonstrating both personal heroism and the operational doctrine that defined humanity's approach to warfare. And as human forces penetrated deeper into the Zoran heartlands, they established forward bases fortified, supply lines, and prepared liberated systems to serve as staging areas for subsequent operations, while simultaneously employing psychological operations, projecting images of human dominance, manipulating communications, and revealing the consequences of resistance to alien populations still loyal to the councils, creating doubt, confusion, and ultimately surrender in previously staunchly allied systems. And through it all, humans maintained cohesion, discipline, and moral clarity, emphasizing that every action was measured, deliberate, and designed to minimize unnecessary destruction while maximizing strategic impact, combining technological superiority, tactical brilliance, and profound understanding of both human and alien psychology. And as the campaign unfolded, alien fleets that had once dominated their sectors were reduced to fragmented remnants, their command structures in chaos, and the councils increasingly powerless to coordinate effective resistance, while humanity, ever adaptive, continued to innovate, leveraging every new technology, battlefield insight, and intelligence breakthrough to maintain relentless pressure, demonstrating to the galaxy that Earth's population was not merely capable of defending itself, but projecting force with unparalleled efficiency, ingenuity, and precision, redefining the concept of interstellar dominance, and leaving no doubt among the alien civilizations that underestimating humanity had been a catastrophic error whose consequences would reverberate across the stars for generations, as humans demonstrated that intelligence, creativity, courage, and unity were as powerful a weapon as any armament, and that those who misjudged the blue planet would pay the ultimate price, culminating in a series of victories that not only liberated occupied territories, but decisively shattered the belief that any species could control or suppress humanity, establishing the foundations for a new order in the galaxy where Earth would be recognized as a force whose strategic, technological, and moral capabilities were unmatched, and as the humans prepare to confront the remaining alien forces in their core systems. The galaxy collectively realized that the underestimated species had become the ultimate arbiter of power, a civilization whose ability to combine intellect, adaptability, and unyielding resolve ensured that any who opposed them would face defeat, and the message was unmistakable. Humanity would no longer be overlooked, dismissed, or controlled, and the consequences of underestimating them had already been written in the ruins of fleets, liberated worlds, and the irrevocable reshaping of interstellar dynamics, proving beyond doubt that Earth's defenders had transformed from an overlooked planet into a civilization capable of determining the fate of the galaxy. As humanity pressed even further into the core territories of the Zoran Collective and their allied species, the scope and intensity of the conflict escalated beyond anything the galaxy had witnessed before, with human fleets now operating not only as tactical units, but as integrated intelligence networks, combining real-time reconnaissance, predictive algorithms, and autonomous strike capabilities that allowed coordinated multi-system assaults with precision unmatched by any alien force, while Admiral Marcus Hale oversaw complex operations that simultaneously targeted command hubs, supply lines, and key fleet formations, each strike designed to dismantle enemy cohesion, exploit psychological vulnerabilities, and amplify the cumulative effects of prior victories. And officers like Commander Lena Patel and Lieutenant Jordan Hayes executed high-risk missions into heavily defended sectors, navigating dense asteroid belts, radiation storms, and artificial gravity anomalies to deliver crippling blows to enemy infrastructure, while Chief Engineer Ravi Singh and Dr. Leah Martinez continuously upgraded warship systems mid-battle, integrating adaptive shields, phase-shifting armor, and advanced energy weapons that neutralized previously dominant alien technologies. And as human forces expanded their operational reach, intelligence officers decrypted and manipulated enemy communications, exploiting mistrust, internal rivalry, and cultural rigidities to further fragment alien alliances, creating confusion and fear that compounded battlefield losses, while Earth's political and civilian institutions maintained logistical and moral support, ensuring that production, research, and societal stability could sustain long-term campaigns without faltering. And as successive engagements decimated alien fleets, entire sectors once thought secure under alien control fell to humans with minimal resistance, the liberated populations rallying behind the liberators, assisting in fortifying positions, restoring communication networks, and providing critical intelligence, while psychological operations projected human dominance across interstellar media, reinforcing the message that resistance was futile and collaboration with humans ensured survival, all of which systematically undermined the will of alien civilizations, eroding confidence in leadership and command structures, and forcing desperate, uncoordinated counteroffensives that were promptly anticipated and neutralized by human commanders, whose mastery of multidimensional warfare, combining orbital, suborbital, and deep space operations, turned every potential threat into an exploitable opportunity, and individual acts of heroism, ingenuity, and leadership by humans like Captain Elena Foster coordinating orbital bombardments, Lieutenant Hayes executing infiltration missions, and engineers implementing rapid technological adaptations, became emblematic of a civilization whose resilience, intellect, and strategic foresight exceeded even the most advanced alien assumptions, while advanced technologies such as graviton projectors, subspace disruptors, and quantum phase drones allowed humans to manipulate entire battlefields, disabling alien warp drives, severing communication lines, and neutralizing capital ships with remarkable efficiency, demonstrating that humanity's supremacy was rooted not only in firepower, but in innovation, coordination, and the ability to adapt in real time. And as the campaign approached its climax, alien civilizations faced the undeniable reality that the underestimated humans of Earth had become the dominant force in the galaxy, their fleets, infrastructure, and alliances irreversibly compromised, while human forces consolidated victories, secured liberated systems, and prepared to deliver the final decisive blows, ensuring that the councils of the Zoran Collective and their allies could no longer maintain control, influence, or credibility. And as Reports of human efficiency, ingenuity, and unyielding resolve spread across star systems. Fear, admiration, and awe-replaced arrogance, signaling that humanity's rise was complete, that the blue planet once dismissed as primitive had become the central axis of interstellar power, capable of determining outcomes on a galactic scale, and that those who had underestimated Earth had not merely been defeated. They had paid the ultimate price, witnessing firsthand that intelligence, unity, and innovation could overwhelm even the most powerful civilizations, and that humanity had transformed from the overlooked underdog into the galaxy's decisive force, a civilization whose capabilities, strategy, and indomitable spirit ensured that the mistakes of underestimation would never be repeated, leaving a permanent legacy across liberated and formerly hostile sectors alike. A testament to what a united, intelligent, and resolute species could accomplish when faced with seemingly insurmountable odds, and as human fleets prepared for final campaigns, every maneuver, strategy, and technological innovation underscored a simple truth. Earth was no longer a backwater planet to be ignored, but the proving ground and ultimate master of interstellar power, and the galaxy would never again forget the cost of dismissing humanity. With the alien forces fragmented, demoralized, and increasingly desperate, humanity moved decisively toward the final phase of the campaign, targeting the central command hubs of the Zoran Collective and their most powerful allies, a region long considered untouchable due to its dense network of fortified stations, orbital weapon platforms, and fleets equipped with the galaxy's most advanced offensive and offensive technologies. Yet human strategists under Admiral Marcus Hale devised a multi-layered operation that combined deception, precision strikes, and overwhelming force, using adaptive cloaking, gravitational field manipulation, and predictive algorithms to coordinate fleet movements across multiple star systems simultaneously, while officers like Commander Lena Patel and Lieutenant Jordan Hayes led spearhead operations that penetrated deep into alien territory, disabling key energy grids, disrupting communications, and neutralizing defensive installations with unparalleled efficiency. And engineers such as Ravi Singh and Dr. Leah Martinez continuously upgraded ships in real time, integrating quantum phase shields, antimatter lances, and AI-guided assault drones, ensuring that every engagement favored humanity and minimized collateral damage to liberated systems, while intelligence teams exploited fractures in alien alliances, disseminating disinformation, amplifying internal rivalries, and strategically leaking data to sow distrust, further destabilizing enemy coordination. And as fleets converged on the core territories, humans executed simultaneous strikes designed to overwhelm even the most sophisticated alien defenses, using orbital bombardments, autonomous drone swarms, and hyper-accurate energy weapons to systematically dismantle fortresses, capital ships, and support vessels, while human pilots performed maneuvers that alien commanders had deemed impossible, exploiting weaknesses in hull structures, shield frequencies, and maneuvering patterns. With surgical precision and across liberated and neutral sectors, civilian populations provided critical logistical support, maintained communications, and assisted in the rapid fortification of forward bases, demonstrating the cohesion, resilience, and adaptability that had become humanity's hallmark. And as alien leaders convened emergency councils, attempting to formulate desperate countermeasures, they found themselves paralyzed by internal discord, fear, and the realization that humans had anticipated every contingency, turning their overconfidence and arrogance into liabilities, while humans maintained a disciplined, coordinated approach, balancing offensive actions with resource management, fleet rotation, and long-term strategic planning, ensuring that victories were decisive and irreversible. And as the campaign unfolded, innovations like graviton projectors that distorted space-time around enemy ships, subspace disruptors that severed warp connections and neural-linked command systems that allowed instant coordination between fleets, pilots, and AI units, amplified human effectiveness to levels that alien civilizations could neither predict nor counter, while acts of heroism and ingenuity by individuals like Captain Elena Foster directing orbital bombardments and Lieutenant Hayes executing infiltration missions became legendary, inspiring both military and civilian populations across liberated territories. And as the final engagements approached, humans systematically dismantled remaining enemy command nodes, incapacitated flagship vessels, and neutralized the last cohesive alien fleets, leaving alien councils in disarray, communication networks in chaos, and territorial control effectively dissolved, while humanity's forces expanded influence, secured resource-rich systems, and prepared to consolidate their position across the galaxy, demonstrating that strategic planning, technological innovation, and human ingenuity could not only overcome the greatest military powers, but redefine the rules of interstellar warfare. And as the final battles raged, alien populations began to surrender or defect, recognizing that resistance against humanity was futile, and that the species they had so casually dismissed had demonstrated capabilities far beyond their understanding, while humans continued operations with precision, efficiency, and moral clarity, liberating systems, safeguarding civilians, and reinforcing a network of control that ensured long-term stability and dominance, leaving alien civilizations to confront the devastating truth that their arrogance and underestimation had resulted in total defeat, their fleets shattered, alliances fractured, and influence effectively nullified, while humanity, ever disciplined and forward-thinking, had transformed from a seemingly insignificant species into the galaxy's preeminent power, capable of shaping interstellar politics, military strategy, and technological advancement for generations. And as the dust of war settled across thousands of star systems, the message was unmistakable. Those who underestimated Earth had paid the ultimate price, and the humans of the Blue Planet had secured their place not just as survivors, but as masters of the galaxy, their ingenuity, unity, and resilience now the standard against which all civilizations would measure themselves, and the galaxy would never again forget that underestimating humanity was a mistake that carried irreversible consequences, as the lessons of strategy, courage, and innovation demonstrated by Earth's defenders reverberated across every star system, cementing their legacy as an unstoppable, unparalleled force. As the final remnants of alien resistance crumbled beneath the coordinated might of human forces, the galaxy witnessed the full scale of humanity's transformation from an underestimated species into an undeniable interstellar power, with Admiral Marcus Hale overseeing consolidation control across core sectors, integrating liberated systems into a network that combined military oversight, scientific research, and civil governance, while officers like Commander Lena Patel and Lieutenant Jordan Hayes ensured that every liberated population was secured, supplied, and empowered to participate in the rebuilding and stabilization of the galaxy, and engineers like Ravi Singh and Dr. Leah Martinez continued refining technologies that had already rendered alien fleets obsolete, including adaptive energy absorption shields, quantum phase disruptors, graviton-based propulsion systems, and AI-guided weaponry capable of anticipating enemy maneuvers before they occurred, while intelligence. Teams methodically dismantled the remaining command structures, neutralized rogue factions, and ensured that any attempt at resurgence would be detected and countered immediately. And on Earth, civilian institutions maintained production, research, and societal stability, providing the backbone for sustained operations and long-term governance, while humanity's moral and cultural resilience ensured that their victories were not tainted by oppression or exploitation, reinforcing the principles of unity, justice, and intelligent stewardship. And as the dust of conflict settled, alien councils that had once dismissed or sought to dominate humanity were forced to confront the catastrophic consequences of their arrogance, with fleets destroyed, alliances shattered, and civilizations humbled, while the liberated system celebrated human ingenuity, discipline, and courage, recognizing that the species they had once assumed inferior had now demonstrated unmatched strategic, technological, and moral capability. And across the galaxy, whispers of human triumph spread from star system to star system, inspiring both awe and fear, while human fleets continued patrolling key sectors, ensuring stability, projecting power, and preparing for any future threats with the same relentless precision and foresight that had defined their rise. And individual heroes such as Captain Elena Foster, Lieutenant Jordan Hayes, Commander Lena Patel, and countless unnamed scientists, engineers, and officers were immortalized not only for their battlefield accomplishments, but for embodying the core principles of adaptability, ingenuity, and resilience that had made humanity's victories possible. And as humanity turned its gaze to the stars beyond the former Zorn-controlled sectors, they did so with confidence born not of arrogance, but of experience, preparation, and unity, understanding that the galaxy now recognized Earth as a central force whose strategic vision, technological innovation, and moral clarity would shape interstellar dynamics for generations to come, while alien civilizations, humbled and recalibrating, were forced to acknowledge that the Blue Planet's people were masters of both war and diplomacy, capable of imposing order, securing peace, and defending themselves against the mightiest powers. And in this new era, humanity's legacy was firmly established. A civilization that had been underestimated, dismissed, and challenged, yet had not only survived, but dominated, turning every underestimation into opportunity, every attack into a lesson, and every strategic challenge into a demonstration of superior intelligence, coordination, and courage, leaving the galaxy with an unshakable truth. Humanity could not be controlled, subdued, or ignored, and those who assumed otherwise had paid the ultimate price, ensuring that from this point forward, every species, system, and council would approach Earth and its people with respect, caution, and recognition of the extraordinary capabilities that had elevated humanity to its rightful place among the stars, as the humans of the Blue Planet stood vigilant, prepared for any future threat, yet celebrated their triumph, secure in the knowledge that their ingenuity, unity, and indomitable spirit had permanently reshaped the balance of power across the galaxy, leaving a legacy that would endure for generations, proving beyond question that when underestimated, humanity did not merely survive. It dominated, mastered, and transformed the cosmos itself.